person, I can't let no hoe lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, oh they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying. This shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Circle up and stay alert. Another cop just stretch the nigga. He a demon, this that exorcism. Watch I bless the nigga. You took that open blood, then you know I'm gon' get active with you. Fuck the opposition, I see vision. Let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spit, I ain't listening. Is effective. If revenge was a woman, now I stroke that bitch like Jackie. So time war, we gon' run the summer. It's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't do that. Bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young baby. How you real trigger know them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? When he saying something, I ain't hear him. This shit like it ain't about who got the gun, it's about who gon' up that pipe first. I turn a bad situation to a game changer. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain. Free shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand and feed you, you'll never get that hand back. He bitchin' about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. I'm a certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, I with that hollow side, yeah, this the real McCoy. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still up on my bread, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get that boy lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
What's good now? I'm about to get yo. Pull up,
nigga in the shredder, but however, I could never take a step back for my pleasure. Change the weather, Ruger 5.7 on my dresser, clip full with a lot of pressure. I forget that I made a special. I don't care, so I don't remember hitting treasures in my lecture. New texture, but the same message. Think rich, no think better. Chevy boy, I don't need a Porsche. Bucket clean and I feed the horse. Pull up on me, lose a bitch, ain't nothing to me. Ben Simmons, they ain't fucking with me. Take sides, you was set hopping. Heat on, you was flip flopping. On the come up, then he start watching. We open doors like fuck knocking. Yeah, she see it and then don't believe it. Spit fire in my heart anemic. Make a choice, get in the van. Taking ground and become a man. You pussy, I'm straightforward. Take orders, give orders. Bend corners, set borders. Niggas fold like rich quarter. Lifelong, but my temp shorter. Only for the bullshit though. Counterfeit niggas that be full of it though. I don't really hear what you into, nigga. We don't really care what you been through, nigga. I offend you, nigga. Sharp like a quick flat turn in the venue, nigga. Cut right through it like a Jinsu, nigga. If I say that I mean it, and know I'm the meanest and one of the cleanest. I put it together and break it in pieces. I got plenty of time, I got plenty of ideas, you wouldn't believe it. I roll with the lions, you run with hyenas. I'm David inside of a killing arena. For all of my people, I'm giving you all of the smoke. Stop saying the stuff that you won't really wanna live up to. Live by a code, yeah, we stand up too. Say you get money, put bread up too. Saying you dumb, we fed up too. Fed up too, in the league of my own, just leave me alone. They gon' keep talking about me, I just keep going and going and going. It is what you showing, and I'ma keep growing and growing and rocking and rolling and take over loading. I hold a position in any condition, completing the mission. Paying attention, I got a connection to sit in the section. Yeah, I changed. 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 You know I changed. You know I changed. You know I changed. You know I changed. Yeah, I changed. Yeah, I changed.
Shit is just different, man. I'm showing the difference.
I'ma show them it's a difference. I'ma only say this once, you better listen. When West is where it started, so you know that's where it finished. We got one main objective, nigga, let's complete the mission. We explaining what the who, lead them bitches in they feelings. Snub on me, only time I put my nose inside your business. I don't want my gun to show, so I wear my shirt bigger. This is our world, cause if this was your world, I'd be the villain. Break his whole block down, all I gotta do is business. Stuffing Mac shell drums, turn your crib to Sunday dinner. You don't live here, you visit, this my shit, it's a difference. I don't do lean, Lobos in my cup is what I'm sipping. I don't do dreams, I just say a prayer, go and get it. And it all work out, you know this ain't for play, this ain't for fun. I've been destined for this shit, niggas know that I'm the one. This shit can go 100 yards, you would think I kicked a punt. You would think I had a flare gun on go, you niggas run. They like he an Israelite, all he rap about is guns. Bitch, I'm an Israelite that own a lot of guns. What that nigga said who? Tell him watch the grind. Yeah, you must be crazy if you ever think of stopping mine. Knock all of the chains out you niggas, make them drop a dime. This tour is whole 12, it is not a zodiac sign. Piss me off, get me in my bag, make me drop a bomb. Drop a nuke, make the world freeze, I can stop the time. Watch what you do, cause once you do it, you can't press rewind. On purpose, I do the opposite, so nigga cross the line. This is different, I ain't looking for trouble, but on point, case you think I rap. Turn him to a vegetable, lead this nigga Cabbage Patch. No new niggas with me, if you see him, then they got my back. Got it out the mud, big stepping, you can see the tracks. Follow me, I could teach you something, have receive, relax. If you gon' speak on anything, just make sure it's fact. It's a difference, we are not the same, help them notice that. Pay attention, watch how we move, we can know we can't. Hang around all real niggas and we move as one. This ain't Fortnite, get into it, ain't no 1v1. The smoke I bring to you, you can't take it in with your lung. Life about warfare, we just make it look fun. She asked what kind of oil I got on, I told her give him some. When West the only real niggas left, you better get you one. Chicken shop, giving out wings if I pull a drum. It's a difference, you better watch your words before you eat your tongue. Scrape the whole plate, not a trace nor leave a crumb. Ice falling off the watching chain like it's freezer burn. Daring somebody to say my name, I will eat to him. Loyalty means everything, so I don't eat with them.
Shit is just different, man. I'm showing the
All right, let's get it. 1 second, let me just fix this camera real quick. Shalom to everybody watching. Hit that sign-in link. All right, so what's going on? Shalom, y'all, Bashem Yal Shai, Barakatham, y'all, Shamar Latham, Bashem Yal Shai. Priest and Officer 1000 Zabaja of the I.S.U.P.K. under Commanding General YAHANNA, started on 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Right, and since 1969, we've taught that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the Israelites. Right, we teach about why we are in the condition we're in, and what's most important as to why we're in the condition we're in, how to get out of that condition. Hey, Shalom, Sister Yashara, Yahweh Shemar Latham Ba'Shem Yal Shai, the water for tuning in. Let's give that sister a hand. She got a Hebrew name. She did what most of Salakia. She did what we pray all of our sisters do, is come on the inside and change your life. And she did that. She is an excellent example to sisters in Canada, as well as all the other sisters that we have in the school, right? So again, I'm Priest and Officer 1000 Zabaja. With me, I got Priest and Officer 500 Shariwan, right? And now let's get it in. We got a bunch of different articles for you today, right? First, we're going to talk. So there's been a lot of shootings in the GTA. And if you're in Montreal, let's get this right. If you're in Montreal, you know there's been a lot of shootings in your city as well. Right? Now, usually we talk about the black on black crime, right? That's what let me get real quick. Bear with me. That's what oppressors love to call it. They love to point out the fact that there's black people killing black people, Hispanics killing Hispanics, Native Americans killing Hispanics, Native Americans killing Native Americans, right? Or Hispanics and blacks beefing, right? That's what they usually like to talk about. Today, we're going to talk about what's going on in the GTA, a bunch of shootings. We're going to start first with an article. This is an article from 2 years ago. It's about a brother who was murdered by the police, right? The police, they love to shoot us and kill us. They hunt our steps, right? We'll definitely get into that. They be hunting our steps. Let's get our precepts lined up. We're going to get this article. We're going to get this article first, right? And also, we're going to get into how the police, they've been killing us, and someone's been killing the police recently. Right now, again, this is the I.S.U.P.K. We are a love group for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We don't advocate any violence. As much as the oppressors have done so much crime to us, we don't advocate going out to harm them. You absolutely don't have to do anything. What you should do is get into the I.S.U.P.K. Right? Do what myself did, what Officer Shariwan did. We came home to the truth. Right? We found out who we are, and now we live a much better life, a more productive, more healthy life. Right? And we're waiting. What we're doing is we're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. We're teaching our brothers and sisters to do the same thing, to observe the high holy days, and not that bull crap of a Thanksgiving that just passed. Right? And as we do that, we also wait patiently for our King, for our Lord to free us from this captivity, just like he did for the Israelites when we were in Egypt, right? And again, you don't have to raise a single hand to the oppressor. The Lord's been plaguing them back to back to back for the last 2-3 years, right? So that's all you have to do, right? So we're gonna add this story right quick, right? So, this is a story from 2 years ago. SIU finds no basis to proceed with criminal charges in death of DeAndre Campbell. Officer Shariwan, can you pull up the article so you can read it for us, Baba Kasha?
Khan, Salakia, sir, that's not the CBC article you have up. Which
Khan, this is the CBC article.
That is the CBC article?
Yep.
Okay, Khan, sir. This is a CBC article. It's titled "Police Officer Who Fatally Shot DeAndre Campbell Not Providing Interview. Notes to Police Watchdog." Goes on to say Ontario's police watchdog cannot legally compel officers to speak or submit their notes. The police officer.
Which article are you reading? We might be on the same topic, but two different articles. This is the first one you sent me? It's SIU finds no basis.
Oh, Salakia, hold on one sec.
Right, but as you got that one, read that one that you have just for a second. Right, we'll take this one down for a second. If you could share it. If you can't, that's no sweat. But read the article you just had.
Come on, sir. I'll pull my screen up.
I got some frankincense going right now. Good night. This thing is nice. Right, I'm burning the smells that the scents that the Lord loves. The Lord does not love your weed smoke. Right. I know many, especially in the Rasta community, they think that the Lord enjoys the smell of weed. He hates it. That thing smells disgusting. Right. So what happened was police murdered this brother. We're gonna get into it. And again, because the police is a gang, right? It's basically the Klan in uniform, right? Without the hoodies. They're able to kill blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Sometimes they kill their own nation as well as other nations, and they blatantly get away with it. Like they can murder us, hunt our steps, and just blatantly get away with it.
Yeah. Select. So can you see the article okay?
Come on, I can see the article.
All right. So this is an article from CBC. It says police officer who fatally shot DeAndre Campbell not providing interview. Notes to police watchdog. Ontario's police watchdog cannot legally compel officers to speak or submit their notes. The police officer who fatally shot a young black man with schizophrenia at his family's Brampton, Ontario home has not agreed to an interview, nor turned over his notes to investigators. Ontario's police watchdog says. The Special Investigations Unit, a civilian oversight body that investigates reports of deaths, serious injury, or sexual assaults involving police, said in a news release that the officer involved in the shooting of DeAndre Campbell, whom it did not identify, cannot be legally compelled to present themselves for an interview to the SIU, nor must they submit their notes. Campbell, 26, was shot dead on April 6 after calling Peel Regional Police himself for help.
Wait, what? Read that again, one more time.
On concert. Campbell, who was 26, was shot dead after calling Peel Regional Police himself for help.
Right. So this brother, he called the police for help. Now just imagine calling someone for help and ending up getting murdered by them. Imagine calling your murderers to help you. Right? You called someone for help and they came and killed you. Right? Keep reading on.
Okay. It was DeAndre who called 911. He said he wanted to be taken to the hospital.
He said he wanted to be taken to the hospital. This man needed help. He was not well. Right? Now, tomorrow, I'm going to show you a picture. Just look on Salakia. Look on Facebook tomorrow and on Instagram, right? I'm going to show you a picture of the facility that they have that's supposed to be helping people with who go through mental disorders, who have breakdowns, who have issues, right? Right? They have a $1 billion facility in Toronto. And still, brothers and sisters who need help are not getting the help. Right? They rather spend this money on making a state-of-the-art facility, right, with floor-to-floor glass walls. Keep reading.
Okay. It was DeAndre who called 911. He said he wanted to be taken to the hospital. He called out for help, and the system that was supposed to help him failed him. His sister Shanika Malcolm told CBC News in the days after his death. There was no imminent threat and no de-escalation methods. The SIU has said police were called to the family Soston Circle home for a domestic situation.
Right, so read that again. They said there was Salakia. They said there was no imminent threat, so they didn't have to kill this brother.
Yeah.
Right, and that's usually what happens to us. There is no imminent threat. They don't have to kill us. Salakia, I'm just looking for a precept right quick. They don't have to kill us, but they do.
Right.
Right. Keep reading.
Okay. There was an interaction which included the discharge of conducted energy taser or taser-like weapons by 2 officers, according to an SIU news release in the hours after Campbell's death. One officer then discharged his firearm multiple times. The man was struck. He succumbed to his injuries at the scene. The Fifth Estate reported that Campbell had been struggling with his condition, and the family had called 911 a handful of times in the past when they were concerned about his well-being.
Officer Shah, you want to take over for a quick moment?
Go on concert.
The water.
Right, quick shout out to the chat. Shalom, Jonas Belial, Shema Thamba Shemiel Shai. Right, and now this story, this is something that happened a couple of years ago. This happened 2 years ago. This story we're reading, but these stories are just to bring light on some of the things that do go on here in Canada, right? A lot of stories go uncovered or unspoken about in Canada, but what we're reading here, and like we've read many times here in No Cowards Canada, is reading different articles about the different police brutality that is done to our people. Not only the police brutality, but the murder of God's children, God's chosen children, being Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Right now, this brother and his family, they regularly would call in the police to assist them, right? Because this brother was struggling with a mental disease, a mental disorder. His brother needed help. They were calling for help, and instead of getting help, he ended up in a casket.
Right.
And this is the training of your police officers. This is why in the I.S.U.P.K we say, don't call the police for help. You got a problem at home, some domestic violence or something like that, call the men of the Lord in the I.S.U.P.K. Understand? We'll go to your house and help you. We'll counsel you. We'll give you the tools that you need to assist your family. But if you go and call the police, like we've seen over and over, Salaki officers, I can't count how many stories we've brought out about people losing their lives over calling the police on these wellness checks.
Right.
Right? So Salaki.
Right, and that is such a heavy thing, right? Because when we call the police for help, right, we're basically calling them to help us into a casket.
Yeah.
Right? They help us into these caskets and they murder us. Like, you think that now just imagine calling. All right, so what we're doing, I'm going to put it in layman's terms for you. We're calling Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees for help.
Right.
Calling Michael Myers for help. All they know how to do is kill, right? Now, you would think that police officers who are trained in hand-to-hand combat, right, would be able to disarm a man with a knife. Right, you see all the police officers. Whenever there's a riot, they got thousands of dollars worth of riot gear. They show up to somebody who they know is having a mental breakdown, knowing that they might have to, because this is, I'm gonna say this the best way, right? Not 9 times out of 10, when someone's having a mental breakdown, unless you're trained to deal with that, right? You're probably gonna get physical with them. Because they're not hearing nothing you're saying for the most part, right? Because they're going through a mental crisis, right? A crisis that their demons are taking over. They need help. They need to speak to some psychiatrist or some doctor, or to be sedated, not electrocuted and not shot, right? But now for the altercations that do get physical, you'd think these police officers know how to how to fight.
God.
In this school, now we're not trained on how to deal with mental crisis per se, but we know to get our brothers and sisters help. We know to bring them to a doctor, to a hospital. And what else do we know? We know how to fight. So if it comes to a point where we got to get physical at any time, we know how to handle ourselves. You would think police officers who have the power of life and death in their hand with their Gen 4 Glocks, right, would know how to fight, know how not to be overpowered by someone going through a crisis.
God.
Right.
So I don't want to find
God.
out. Right, like in the I.S.U.P.K, like we're trained to deal with knives.
Right.
Right, like even these people, you're in some domestic situation, you're bringing out a knife, like you gotta have that mentality of just expect that you're gonna get poked.
Right.
Just expect it. If somebody pulls a knife out, you're gonna get poked, you're gonna get stabbed. You understand? But that's not necessarily grounds to murder somebody. You know what I mean? Like, especially if it's a brother who is struggling with some kind of mental illness, like do your best to take that brother and subdue him. You know what I mean? Find a way to bring him to the ground or something like that. But you know what I mean? Even in the world, even before being in the I.S.U.P.K, you know what I mean? Like I was never scared of a knife. You know what I mean?
Here's the other part too, right?
God.
What? Listen, they wear bulletproof vests.
Right.
It protects majority of your torso. Where are you gonna get stabbed if you're wearing a bulletproof vest?
Good.
In your arm, you might get a little slice on your hand, right? Now you know you're going into a situation where there's a mental crisis. There should be some doctor. You would think every police precinct who gets $1 billion budget would be able to stop or would be able to have some doctor, right? A team of doctors in every precinct that they could call for when there's a crisis. Salaki, y'all gonna have to.
Salaki, if I could piggyback off that.
Yeah. Salaki, priest?
Salaki, if I could piggyback off that, it's like they have all these millions of dollars worth of equipment. These devils couldn't pull out their gun and shoot the man in his foot.
Salaki, priest.
There's probably other things they could have done. Salaki, sir, go ahead.
Just to add on to what you're saying, right? I spoke to a police officer, to one of the community police officers in my neighborhood, right? They said, we're not trained to shoot anybody in their leg. Because I asked them that same question. Like you see a man who has a knife, right? And you're in the gun range. There's a gun range in every police station, right? And you're practicing to shoot because you have a gun, right? Why don't you just shoot him in his shin, in his leg? Not the thigh, not the meaty part of the thigh where the arteries are that are going to bleed out, but the leg. The man gets shot in his leg, he's going to fall to the ground, right? He said, no, we can't do that because you might shoot him in the leg and miss, or you might shoot him in the leg and he still come. And he said this with such confidence. You shoot a man in his shin and he's going to still hobble over to you and stab you with a knife. Knife. Right? We're trained to kill.
God.
Right? Because we got to go home to our families. So I asked him, what about that man? Does he not have a family to go home to?
Right.
The officer didn't want to answer. Right? So
Salaki, other one. And if I may, that's one of the whole points in what we're bringing out is that there's absolutely no value of life if you're a Black, Hispanic, or Native American.
Right.
Right. Like they do not care about whether you live or die. Understand? That's why they put drugs in our communities. That's why they do everything they can to destroy us, because they don't give a damn about us. Right. And that's something that we got to understand as a people. Stop giving your love to the people that hate you.
Right.
Stop giving your love to this society that wants to destroy you. and start giving your love to your own people. Salaki.
Right. That's definitely heavy. One moment, priest. Is there more of that article?
Concert. There's a little more on the article.
Okay. You can keep reading. Carry on for a moment, Baba Shah.
Concert. The article goes on to say each time he was taken to a nearby hospital, they said this time he ended up getting killed. In its news release, the SIU said investigators have interviewed all 4 officers designated as witnesses to the incident, along with 4 family members. From the scene, investigators recovered a knife, 2 conducted energy weapons, and what they described as firearm-related evidence. The officer's firearm was also taken as part of the investigation. Many of these items were submitted for forensic analysis. The results of the post-mortem examination into Campbell's death have yet to be released. The article questions, why are they bringing guns to deal with a mental issue? Asked, what impact would it have on the investigation if the officer who shot Campbell refuses to speak about the incident? The more information the SIU gets during the course of its investigation, whether it be interviews or evidence, the better the SIU is able to determine what happened. Right? And Slaki, if I may, this is also something that I hear the men above me talk about all the time, which is these people are so protected, right? These police officers and their union, the unity that they have amongst the police force, right, and all the working bodies that they have, they're able to get away with things like not having to disclose all this evidence.
Right.
Like I can understand as if you're a civilian and you're being asked for evidence that's going to incriminate you, I can understand as a civilian having all these rights to say, I'm not going to disclose this information.
Right.
Incriminate me. But if you're an officer, you're quote unquote some officer of the law who has this duty to protect and serve, you don't have those rights. You understand? You're in the spotlight. You're out here meant to protect people, meant to serve people. You shouldn't have all these rights protecting you and hiding you from the things that you're doing on your job. Right? And this is something that I know we've also covered in Canada. They're still working on getting body cameras for all the police officers here in Canada. As far as I know, it's still not something that's mandatory for them to turn on.
The Salakia priest.
Concert.
Do you know where all the body camera money is?
La Aser.
It's in Ukraine.
Right.
They take the money that you would think Canada can't even afford body cameras.
Right.
How much billions of dollars did they give to Ukraine?
Good night.
Good night. Right? Salakia. What else do we got in that article?
Slide. So that's pretty much it on that article.
Right. Baba Kashad, read. Where are we? Read 14 for us.
Khan. This is Isaiah chapter 12, verse 14. And it shall be as the chaste roe.
Right? As a chaste animal. Right? Keep reading.
Khan. And as a sheep that no man taketh up. There shall every man turn to his own people, and flee everyone into his own land.
Now listen, right? It's gonna come a time when Israelites, when blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, our brothers and sisters, are gonna have to turn to the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA, right? They're gonna have to call up Officer Shah Yuan, myself, they're gonna have to call Officer Adiyar and Barakia Allah, right, to get help instead of calling your murderer. Instead of calling Freddy Krueger to assist you into a casket, you're gonna want a man of the Lord to help you. Keep reading.
Kawakan, verse 15. Everyone that is found shall be trust true.
Wait, read 14 again.
Kawakan. Isaiah chapter 12, verse
13.
Isaiah chapter 13, verse 14. And it shall be as a chaste roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up.
Right? Listen, no one's coming to help us. No one helps Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Right? No one's going to help us because no one loves us except for us. Only your family is going to help us. Your family is going to help you, meaning only Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are going to help you. Keep reading.
Kawakan. They shall every man turn to his own people.
Do what?
Turn to his own people.
That means Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are going to have to rely on Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans so our brothers and sisters aren't killed when calling for help, right? This brother right here, he called for help. He called the police to take him to the hospital because he thought the police were going to protect and serve.
Right.
They served him up hot lead. That's what they served him. They electrocuted him, right? Because look at him. In their mind, they see a menace, right? Now listen. The oppressor, he views us as a menace because that's how he views us, right? The other nations view us as menaces to society, right? Because there's a people in media who paint us like that. As if there isn't bad things or bad apples in every society, in every nation, right? But for some reason, they make it a highlighted fact that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the worst people on earth, right? We're going to rely on our own people. What else is in there?
And flee everyone into his own land.
We need our own land. You can't get no help in Canada. You would think they act like Canada is such a wonderful place. Oh, there's no racism in Canada, right? The racism in Canada is they talk to you, right, with a smile and call you a nigger behind your back.
Right.
Right. They say, listen, you got to love your oppressor. While if you're Black, Hispanic, or Native American, you get fired from every job. While they'll bring someone else in and then turn around and fire you, and they'll be like, oh, we don't have enough hours, and you're like, wait, so why'd you hire this person and keep them, but you don't have enough hours? Right? That's a regular thing that happens to so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Right. Officer Shariwan, you can get rid of that article.
Okay.
Right. We need our own land. There's going to come a time when we get it. There's going to come a time when the Lord comes and saves us from the captivity that we're in right now. Right. Let's see. I had this other article. I want to see if there's anything else in it that they didn't mention. All right. So now, earlier we read that the police the police that shot this brother weren't coming to speak up, right? So now there's something in Canada called the Special Investigation Unit. This is in Ontario. Anytime there's like police shooting or the use of force that they deem as a use of force, that results in death, the Special Investigation Unit comes and investigates, right? Now, Officer Shariwan, who do you think is made up in the... Now, I got to ask this the right way. What kind of people do you think are in the Special Investigations Unit? Or who do you think is in the Special Investigations Unit? Right? A unit that's supposed to investigate the police.
Okay, other one.
Or wait. Before you do that, people in the chat, right? If you're watching it, you're watching. We have a Special Investigations Unit that's supposed to investigate the police, right? What kind of people are in this unit? Type it in the chat. Right. So we're gonna go into this article just a little more, right? So the director of the Special Investigations Unit, Joseph Martino, has determined that there are no reasonable grounds to believe that the officer committed a criminal offense in connection with Mr. Campbell's death, wrote the SIU in a news release issued Monday morning. Right? This is in 2020. It's 2020. You would think blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans aren't getting killed like it's 1959. Right, so let's keep reading. The SIU, hold up. We're gonna get to it. Does anybody have a Salakia? Does anybody have an answer for who's employed in the SIU?
So like, I don't want to fight, man.
Come on.
Would it be other officers?
Right. So it's a mix, right, of other officers, right? Now they say the SIU is a civilian oversight body that investigates reports of death, serious injury, or sexual assault involving police. Right now, this is supposed to be a civilian oversight, right? We got a sister Nawa, throughout a sister Nawa. She said Esau, right? Esau is definitely in there, right? It's a mix of civilians and sometimes police who investigate police, right? Despite its conclusion, the report does outline some issues with the way police acted. They have issues with how police acted, right? I have issues with how the police acted.
Right.
You murdered one of our brothers once again, right? And no one's there to. The people that are supposed to watch and say, well, listen, you murdered this man, right? He called you for help. Why is he dead? Right? You would think the people that are supposed to determine that the police were in the wrong would do it, but they're not doing it because no one helps us. Right, Officer Shaiwan, get me Lamentations 4 and 17. You can go Lamentations 4 and 17.
Come on.
Right, I'm gonna keep reading. That Salakia, let's read it again. Despite its conclusion, the report does outline some issues with the way police acted, including that no attempt was made to verbally calm Campbell. Good night. And the SIU said they did nothing wrong, right? So I thought it was serve and protect. Which community is getting served and which community is getting protected?
Right.
Because it is damn for sure ain't blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that are getting protected, right? They don't protect us. We get murdered. We get destroyed. We get killed, right? Because we're calling for people who don't love us to love us, right? Your Christian pastor tells you got to love everybody. Love the people that killed you. Love the people that destroyed your heritage. Love the people that enslaved your peoples. Right? Now this brother, he thought they loved him. And it's sad. May this brother rise again in the kingdom without sin.
Right.
And if he comes back and this kingdom is still standing, right? May he come into the I.S.U.P.K. A young black man who had schizophrenia. They knew this man had a problem because he called the police to say, "Hey, take me to the hospital." Right? And listen, there's so many times family members call the police thinking they're going to get help from the people who hate you, and it does not work out like that.
So
You end up getting
Salakia,
killed. Khan?
Salakia, I don't. Just on the topic, there's a story I'd like to bring out. It might take some time, but it's on topic with what we're bringing out. I was thinking it would be good to touch on the story. It was regarding that sister out in British Columbia, who was, I think she was murdered on her balcony, and it came out a year later that the police were not charged.
Yeah.
Right? They had determined that the police were not guilty,
Yeah.
and I know there was a big uproar in BC over it.
Wait, so you're saying there was a sister in British Columbia?
Concert.
I remember us hearing a story about that. I wasn't sure if it was British Columbia or in Brampton. For some reason, it seems like Brampton, but Khan, I think we covered that a while ago, right?
Concert. We had covered the story when she was murdered.
Right.
As far as I know, nobody's covered the story though about what actually, what the verdict was.
So you got, and her mother called the police. If I'm not familiar, with this story.
I think it was her boyfriend that called the police. It may have been her mother that called. I think you're right, Salakia. So I think it was her mother that called.
Okay.
And she ended up dead that night because a police officer said something about she pulled out a kitchen knife.
Right. It's always that knife. That knife is so dangerous to be scared,
Right.
coward. Excuse my French. The police are bitches.
Yeah.
Excuse my French, Salakia. Right? They're cowards. Just straight up cowardly. A knife. In Hebrew Academy, listen, I know some 50s who know how to disarm a knife. And they got covers.
Yeah.
Because they learned the Yakarab. They learned how to be men of war. Listen, we got some young 50s in this school who know how to disarm a knife. Salakia, priest, you could definitely bring it up. I didn't even want to lose.
Concert. And Salakia, I am holding Lamentations 4 and 17 for you.
Right before you bring it out, let me finish reading this and then read that precept I had, right? So Campbell is one of several prominent cases in recent months, right? Campbell is one of several prominent cases in recent months in which Peel Region Police have shot and killed someone with a mental health issue. Take this. Water. Right? With mental health issues, leading their families to gather last weekend and demand charges to be laid. Right, so we're gonna get rid of that article right quick.
So like that one, if I may.
Huh.
Like you say, it's always about that knife that seems so dangerous when a brother or sister pulls it out. But when it came to the church shooter, I forget his name, the Edomite who shot up the church, brothers and sisters in the church, right? He didn't seem that dangerous when he had a rifle,
the Buffalo one,
right? Or the Buffalo one, you understand? They don't seem that dangerous with automatic rifles, right? To the point where one of them had to be brought to a Burger King or McDonald's after he got arrested.
And they always give him that Happy Meal.
Right.
They give him some Happy Meal. Some. Listen, I remember. Now I'm gonna tell you this much. Given this is the states that this is happening, right? But it's just showing you the spirit of our oppressor, right? I remember when I was in the world and I was going through it, right? And I kept getting in trouble. Listen, I'm like, listen, y'all had me in this interrogation room for like 6 hours. God damn, can I get a sandwich? Can I get a water? Like, can I get something? Y'all trying to ask me 1,000 questions. I keep telling you, I ain't saying shit. Nah, Salakia, they got me a cold cheese sandwich. Good night. That it looked like it was from 1969. Salakia. Right? It was coincidentally the same year I.S.U.P.K came out to wake up blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? And a juice box. Now killers get to get Happy Meals. They get to walk into the station without a bruise. They're not being shot and killed. Even when they're being told, get on the ground with assault rifles. So, okay, Officer Shariwan, read that precept for us.
Come. So it's the book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help.
Now, look, again, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you are the children of Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel, God's chosen people, right? And we're trying to get help. We need help. And instead of calling the men of the I.S.U.P.K, right, to assist, right, but I can guarantee you get me 5 solid brothers from any school in the UPK, and they could go into a situation to help a brother get to the hospital. That brother has a knife. They're going to tactfully and skillfully, right, with love, with all sorts of love and care, disarm that knife from that brother. Even talk him out of it, because you know the men of the I.S.U.P.K, we know how to talk. We know how to show love and get that brother to a hospital. He's not going to get murdered. But you call 911, and you're essentially calling a hearse.
Right.
You're essentially calling a hearse to your own death. Right? And it's one of those things where it's like, brothers and sisters, you wonder how do we get out of this situation? It's time for us to come together. Your pastor, your imams, your Kanye. Well, now Kanye West. You could tell Kanye West been watching a bunch of UPK classes, right? But his pride won't let him come into the school. His pride won't let him put that billions of dollars into the UPK, right? So we can better ourselves as a people. Because as he said, right? He said, and when he get on, he leave your ass for a white girl. And then he starts crying about it. Right? Keep reading, Officer Shaywan.
In our watching, we have watched for a nation that could not save us.
You call 911, and they are what?
A nation that could not save us.
Listen, that organization is not going to save you. They're not going to help you. They're going to actively kill you. Like we keep reading these articles time after time after time after time. We get these articles where our brothers and sisters are dying. Straight up dying. Straight up being murdered. And then the board of people who are supposed to be the overwatch, the oversight board, is saying, listen, y'all didn't tell that man to calm down. Now Shaywan, imagine, right? Officer Zabadra, he's called. I'm gonna use myself for this one, right?
Yeah.
I go to a man, right, and he's having a breakdown, and he's like, yo, listen, I got a knife, and he wants to be taken to the hospital, but buddy, you have a knife. I can't take you to the hospital with a knife, right? But instead of saying put down the knife, I pull a taser and I shoot him.
Right.
Instead of verbally trying to calm the man down, I kill him. Would I be wrong? All right, you're damn right I would be wrong. It would be totally wrong of me to not help that man, to not verbally warn him, to not verbally instruct him to put down the knife.
So, Lakia, if I may,
Khan.
there's multiple videos on the internet where you see an Edomite wielding a knife or a sword, whatever the case is. The officer's always trying to talk him down, right? Talking about put down the knife, buddy, you're gonna hurt somebody, you're gonna hurt yourself. At the end of the day, they don't end up killing that Edomite wielding a knife or a sword.
Right.
You understand? Whether or not they have a mental disorder. But when it comes to us, it would be impossible to have a mental disorder because, like you say, they see us as natural predators. They see us as a virus, as a cancer. You understand? As something they need to eradicate. That's how they see us. So
Right.
on top of that, now we have a weapon. We're armed, regardless of whether or not we have a mental disorder. And it's a free ticket to the morgue. Salakia.
You're damn right. Listen, the virus looks at us like we're the virus.
Right.
The snake looks at us like we're the predator. Good night. Officer Shariwan, was that the last of the end of the precept?
Come on, sir.
You said Khan?
Come on, sir.
Khan. All right, you wanted to bring out that article right quick?
Come on, sir, if I may.
Khan.
Let me pull that up on the screen.
Right. And then we got, as after Officer Shariwan brings out that article, we're going to bring out the other articles, right? I still got some more precepts. Barack Allah, can you get me get me Ezekiel 35:6?
Khan.
Officer Shariwan, you got it.
Come on, sir. Can you see the article okay?
Khan, we can see the article.
Come on, sir. So this is an article from CBC. It says, New Brunswick police officer who fatally shot Chantel Moore won't be charged. 26-year-old Indigenous woman who was shot and killed by Edmundston officer during wellness check last year. The Edmundston police force officer who fatally shot Chantel Moore in New Brunswick last year won't face criminal charges, prosecutors announced Monday. The Public Prosecution Service of New Brunswick said there was no reasonable prospect of a conviction based on the evidence. The 26-year-old from Tla-o-Kwiat First Nation in British Columbia was shot by an officer during a wellness check on June 4th, 2020. The release said the officer believed Moore was using force or the threat of force against him, that he shot her to defend himself, and that his actions were reasonable under the circumstances. BC's First Nations Leadership Council called the ruling a stinging blow and said it is an offensive reminder that Indigenous people in Canada still cannot count on the justice system for Chantel Moore's family and loved ones, the Tla-o-Kwiat First Nation, and for First Nations across the country who experience year after year the devastating impacts of racialized policing, colonial violence, and institutionalized racism, said Grand Chief Stuart Phillip, president of the union. Salakia, we got a video here we can play. This is the mother of Chantel Moore.
How does somebody end up losing their life, and being fatally taken the way she was? She had 3 shots to the back, 2 in the chest. Her leg was...
Salakia, Brock, did you hear that? She had 3 shots. Did she say 3 shots to the back and 2 shots to the chest?
Salakia, other one. That shows how much of a bastard of a disgusting, selfish monster. You understand? You oppressor. Because how are you gonna shoot someone 3 times in the back, then come back and shoot him in the chest twice?
Good night. And this was again, like I was saying, the reason I brought this up, just on topic. This is a wellness check. This was a sister who was going through, who had some mental illness, and it's
Right.
like the police are called to help. She gets 3 shots to the back and 2 shots to the chest. Right, so like I don't remember bringing that out when we were reading this article. I thought this.
Salakia priest. What did she get?
Time.
Salakia priest. Repeat what she got.
Come on, Concert. Salaki, do you want me to rewind that a bit, about 5 seconds?
Yeah. Baba Kasha. I stepped away for a second. Give these priests and officers a hand for holding it down, right? Because there are people in Canada who love Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans so much that they dedicate their time, their energy, right, their life to loving people. And Officer Shayuan, how much do you get paid to be on this podcast, to be on this class right now?
Okay, we definitely don't get paid for this.
Barack, how much are you getting paid?
So like, the only currency is brotherhood.
The only currency is brotherhood. Give these brothers a hand. We're not getting paid for this. And we love our people so much that we're not going to kill them. We're going to see that they make it to where they get to, or where they have to be, or they need to be in the hospital, right? Without being murdered. I got brothers and sisters who've gone to the hospital, and they've called men of the I.S.U.P.K to get them there, and they haven't been killed. Right? Officer Shayuan, you can rewind it.
How does somebody end up losing their life, and being fatally taken the way she was? She had 3 shots to the back, 2 in the chest. Her leg was completely broken.
3 shots to the back and 2 shots to the chest. Salaki.
Damn. So let me guess. They've determined that the police didn't do anything wrong here?
Kamakasa, that's what this article is saying. That the police were not charged.
So like, if I may,
Kamakasa.
it's like when you shoot someone in the back, not only I think there's a law against it, because okay, so what is a threat when you shoot someone in the back? You understand? They are most likely running away from. They're trying to get away from you.
Right.
So for the other police officers, right, talking about I feared for my life. What are you fear? Like, what did you fear for? You understand? What were you scared about? What were you scared of? That person was literally running away from you because they were fearing for their life.
Right.
You understand? Next thing you know, it's like basically you're shooting an animal that is running away from you. That's how they see it. They're literally hunting.
Like a chase row.
Wakan.
Right? We brought that out a second ago. Like a chase row, right? Listen, they're literally hunting us, just like Priest Barak Allah said. Right. Good night. It's such a horrible thing. Salakia. Barak, you have that precept, or Salakia, Officer Shayuan, were you finished?
There's still more on the article, sir.
Khan, you can keep going.
Broken at the bottom. What kind of wellness check is this? I think, for transparency, what are we asking? Do we need to push harder for all of our police to be wearing body cams so that they are accountable for their actions?
I think,
that.
If I may, right? Police were caught on their body cams still murdering us. A body cam is not going to make any difference.
Right.
You understand?
Right. And listen, that's why this is one body, because I was about to say the same thing. Brock's in my head right now. Salakia. Like that's because the Commanding General YAHANNA raised up Officer Bond and taught us to think like men who love their nation.
Right.
right? You can keep going, Officer Shariwan.
Come.
The biggest part is how do we hold them accountable for their actions, and what are they willing to do to be transparent so that people will have trust in them again?
Salaki, I don't want to invite
Not
me
we
again.
should be treating.
How do we hold them accountable? That's a good question. And I think that the answer is in the scriptures. And if I may, right? Revelations chapter 13, verse 9. You understand? Give me 1 second.
Right. Listen, you're not going to be able to hold them accountable, right? What we need is a higher power,
Right.
And that's exactly what my brother is going to get to right now. Is a higher power has to hold them accountable, because we're still in 2022 talking about how do we hold the police accountable for murdering us on camera, for shooting a woman, right? For shooting a woman in her back.
Right.
Good night. This is a sister. You can overpower a sister. Like, what the hell do they train you for?
Right.
Salakia.
I got it. I want. So this is how not the whole nation of Israel is going to hold these monsters, these animals accountable. You understand? With the help of the Most High, our power. You understand? This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Now, to break it down real quick, whoever brought a people into captivity, meaning in slavery, them themselves will go in chains. You understand? Because, like they say, if they believe in karma, what goes around comes back around, right? If we keep reading, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword, meaning it is a must, it is a necessity for them to be slaughtered by the hands of the Most High and our King Yahweh and the angels. You understand? And Salaki, one more scripture real quick on how do we hold them accountable. You understand? Because not all police officers are bad. Not all white people are bad, right? Some of them were not even born during slavery. How do we hold them accountable for what we're suffering today and what we suffered in the past? Again, the answer is in the scriptures. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. I'm going to stop right here, right? Just to break it down. Because Yahweh shall come back to chop some heads off. You understand? And it says, prepare slaughter for the children, for the iniquity of their fathers, meaning, just like we are paying for the sin of our forefathers, the other nation, especially the Caucasian man, understand, will pay for the sin of their forefathers.
That's definitely true. But Barak, so now the question, because there are people who are watching, right? There are people who are listening, right? And we're teachers up here, right? So now the question is, how do blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans prepare slaughter for these nations, right? Is this something that we're going to do physically? Are we going to openly go out to slaughter, right? How do we prepare slaughter? Anybody can answer. And someone in the chat answer first. How do we prepare slaughter for the heathen nations who come against us? What do we have to do? Right, Barak, you can keep reading.
Yeah, give him 1 second.
You got it?
Come.
Isaiah 14, 21.
Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
Right. So again, anybody can answer. Any of you priests can answer. How do you prepare slaughter for these heathen nations? What are we supposed to do?
Salaki out of one.
Done.
I have two scriptures for that. One would be Revelation chapter 18, verse 4.
What do you got?
Right? And it reads, Revelation chapter 18, verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. So we need to just like you say, this is not a physical action, right? It's all spiritual. When it says come out of her, just for time's sake, right? You can read a couple of verses above. When it says come out of her, it's talking about Babylon, right? Which is America today is spiritually Babylon, and the nations following after her, right?
Right.
Now we need to separate from these nations, not physically but spiritually, meaning we need to stop following after their customs and their culture. All that smoking weed, being drunk in the streets, prostitution, whatever the case is, gangsterism, right? These are all the customs and culture of the other nations, right? Living in a sinful way is the custom and the way of life of the other nations. Now we need to separate ourselves from that by coming back to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High, which were the instructions that He provided the nation of Israel. You understand? To avoid death, right? Second, now I would have Zephaniah chapter 2, verse 1.
Wait. So you're saying to prepare slaughter for what the crimes of the heathen nations, we gotta stop sinning? Is that what you're saying?
Kind of what come, because let me put it like this. How are we gonna prepare slaughter for their iniquity of their forefathers and the perpetual, iniquity that they still do, if we do the same thing that they're doing? If we partake in their sins, just like Revelation chapter 18, verse 4 says, how are we gonna avoid the slaughter as well, and all the plagues that are coming, to the heathens?
Right. Now, Officer Shaiwan, there's more of that article, right?
Come, sir.
All right, let's keep going because we got a few more articles to go. We are going to go over the 10 o'clock hour. If you're watching, Tawada, like, share, and subscribe this channel. Share it on all social media. Make TikToks about this class. Tweet about it, right? Make videos about it. Just share it everywhere. Make sure it goes all over the web. Listen, they say there's a dark web. Share these videos in the dark web. Good night. We want to be everywhere. Tell everybody about these classes. Tell all your friends and families. Listen, the I.S.U.P.K, they said they got the solution to all your problems. Because that's what's up. Right? Officer Shaiwan?
Come, sir.
Each other as humans is unloading your gun into somebody's body. I think if you're not able to deal with de-escalating a situation, then maybe you're not in the best position to hold a gun and a badge.
Oh, wait. Get that sister a flyer. Get that sister a flyer. I need that back again. Listen, if we're in the club, I would throw some money at the DJ booth and call it a money pull-up. She needs a money pull-up. Bring it back. Because what she said was extremely heavy. Right?
How does somebody...
What she said, pause it for a second. What she said was absolutely one West. Right? It's one West world. It's our world. Right? Now, listen. She said, if I just gotta let her say it. Good night. Let her say it. She said it. She said it so excellently, so eloquently.
I think if you're not able to deal with de-escalating a situation, then maybe you're not in the best position to hold a gun and a badge.
She said if you're not able to deal with a situation, maybe you're not in the best position to hold a gun and a badge, right? Now, that is one West. And you want to know why it's one West? Because we have something called the Trooper Program, right? If you aren't able to break down these scriptures, if you're not able to give the correct answer, you're not able to break down these scriptures and teach. right? That's the trooper program. In the trooper program, you learn how to break down scriptures, how to teach men, how to teach women, how to teach children.
Right.
And then you get you go through a process, right, of a officer's test. And once you get the officer's test, you're a 50 and good night. We all went through it. I see two 500s on this screen. They went through it. I'm a 1000. I went through it. And now they're able to teach men, women, and children and raise up families, right? Raise up families and raise up their nation and raise up their city. Now listen, we were in Montreal the other day, and I've been outside with Officer Adiyar and Officer Barakiala trying to wake up brothers and sisters, and they didn't listen. And then I was in Montreal North in a Haitian community, setting up a class for the Feast of Tabernacles, right? Because we're in Tabernacles right now, and we're gonna bring a closing to the Feast of Tabernacles on Monday night at 7 p.m. We're gonna bring a closing to the Feast of Tabernacles, right? That's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna eat food and have a good time, right? And check this out. We were setting up the class, and gunshots started going off, and a brother was shot.
Sure.
All right, so we went to investigate. We went to figure it out, right? We found out a 52-year-old brother was shot. On our way back to a place called NDG. Bro, what do they say NDG stands for?
Salakia, the one. The heathens, especially the Edomites, said that because of the concentration of Benjamites over there, right, mostly Benjamites, NDG would stand for no damn good.
So they said wherever the Benjamites are, it's no damn good. A brother was shot over there, right? It was a brother, right?
Khan, he was shot 4 times and he passed.
And he was shot 4 times, and unfortunately, this brother gave up the ghost. And he's there waiting for his judgment and waiting to be regenerated back into the earth. And hopefully it's in a kingdom without sin. And if he's regenerated anytime soon back into Esau's kingdom, we pray that he comes into the I.S.U.P.K. to wake up brothers and sisters. Now listen, these brothers and sisters, we were telling them, listen, you gotta come home. All right, you can get rid of that article, Baba Kasha. Barak, let me get that precept.
Khan. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, verse 6. Therefore, as I live, said the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee.
What? Read that again.
Khan. Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 6. Therefore, as I live, said the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee.
This is what's happening to the heathen for their crimes that they've committed against the nations of Israel. Blood is going to pursue them, right? Blood is going to pursue the police officers. Blood is going to pursue the heathen nations against us, right? Officer Shariwan, get me Galatians 6 and 7. Right, because this is what's happening, right? And now, so okay, I got another article, right? We're still trying to, not that one. Right, so this is another article. I'm going to share it with you right quick. But Officer Shah, you want get me Galatians 6 and 7 and hold that. Right? Because the police, they like to murder. The police play a game called murder, murder, kill, kill. And the targets are blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? Now listen, I remember the generals brought this out, right? Commander General YAHANNA, he brought this out, right? He brought it out that during in LA, there was a gang of police, because that's what police are. They're a gang, right?
Right.
A gang of police who were going out and killing blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and they were getting points. Right? They had a whole point system. Now, again, that's in America. Oppressors are all alike, right? Some will smile in your face. Some will stab you in your face. Some will smile in your face and hug you and stab you in the back. An oppressor is an oppressor. Good, nice. So let's read this. Investigation launched after police fatally shoot man at Vaughan Event Center, right? Ontario's police watchdog is investigating after a 25-year-old man in Vaughan, Ontario, was shot and killed by York Regional Police officer. Police were called to an event center at Highway 7 and Vaughan Valley Boulevard at about 11:50 p.m. on a Sunday after receiving a call about a man inside with a firearm. Now look, let's find out. We're going to read this article and let's find out if the man even pulled the gun on them or if a shot was fired from this man. Provincial Special Investigations Unit says an interaction between the man and police resulted in one officer shooting the man. Now that off the bat, that's weird, right? Why? Okay, so who can answer why off the bat a interaction with police and only one officer fires is kind of weird? Anybody?
It's a lot, y'all. One. It's like, if I may, there were multiple officers at the scene.
Right. Give this officer a hand. Right. Now, usually, what happens if there's multiple officers at the scene and one officer fires?
It's a lot, y'all. They all fire.
They all fire. Right. Now, I because why wouldn't you? That's what we see countless times. And now just think about it. Just think about it on I'm gonna give it to you on another level, right? If your brother is fighting a person, are you gonna let him fight by himself?
Lot one.
Officer Shayuan, if your brother is fighting a person, are you gonna let him fight by himself?
Awesome.
Why would the police let one of their officers just shoot by themselves? Usually once one person says shots fired or they hear one gun go off, you hear 15 other Glocks go off. You hear 15 other Parabellums or Rugers go off. Some officers even reload. Some officers have such a bloodthirst, they even reloading, bro. They're reloading. Their gun might jam because they're so they're trying to get it off. That shit jams, and they still pop off and put the next one in and they shoot them out.
If I may, they're reloading more than once.
Right. Now let's get back into this. Right. Where are we? The unit says officers provide first aid until paramedics took over and brought the man to the hospital, where he was pronounced dead this morning. 4 investigators and 2 forensic investigators have been assigned to the case, and an autopsy is scheduled for Tuesday. What are they going to try to figure out? If the man had a heart attack? Like, it's just, like, the man died. Like, they're going to do the autopsy anyways, but, like, damn, the man died by gunshots. Like, what the hell is going on? Right? Police officers are encouraging any witnesses or anyone with surveillance footage of the incident to contact the Special Investigations team.
Salakia, if I may.
Come on.
They would perform an autopsy to prevent saying right away that he died by, gunshot from a police officer.
Right.
They're always trying to find some way around to say, yeah, maybe it wasn't just a gunshot. Maybe he had a bad heart or a bad lung, or whatever the case is.
Right.
And we already know he died from a gunshot wound.
Right.
If not multiple.
Right.
Right. So they're using that excuse to just not point the fingers right away at the police because it would make them look bad.
Damn right. All right. So what? Let's see. What did I need from you? Who has Galatians for me? Who has Galatians 6 and 7?
Come on, sir. It's the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 7. Okay. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever.
All right, so be not deceived. Officer Shaywan, I'm going to need you to read that one more time, right? Be not deceived. God is not mocked, right? Now, listen, what the hell is going on with these police officers that they think, and all these heathen nations, they think they can just come up against the children of Israel.
Right.
They think they could just come up against the children of Israel and do whatever they want. They think they could just murder us and shoot us in the street while we call them for help. You just wanted to get to the hospital. I just wanted help. I just needed someone to help me, but y'all decided to shoot me. Right? God is not mocked. He understands. He's going to put punishment on these heathens for what they've done to us. Right? Officer Shaywan, read it one more time.
Be not deceived. God is not mocked.
Listen, y'all think that you're just gonna get away with whatever you've been doing because you've been getting away with it for so long, and because you've beaten blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? Now listen, I'm gonna say some stuff that a weak person or a person without knowledge is gonna take like I'm inciting violence against the police officers, right? Commanding General YAHANNA does not want violence against these heathen nations.
Damn right.
He doesn't want his priests, the men that are under him, to commit crimes against the heathen nations. He wants us to pay our tithes, to feed the poor, to house brothers and sisters who need it, right? He wants us to love each other. Commanding General YAHANNA does not want us to go out and take the law into our own hands. That is not the stance of the I.S.U.P.K. But y'all heathens, be not deceived. God is not mocked. If it was any other nation, every nation would be rioting. If they killed the Chinese man as much as they killed us, the Chinese man would be the so-called Moabite. He would be outside right now in yellow vest.
Salakia, if I may.
God.
They didn't even have to kill no Chinese men. Just because of COVID was blamed on the Moabites, right? The Chinese community, they begged for a bill to Joe Biden, and they got their Stop Asian Crime bill.
Right. The Moab community, they were being, now listen, there was some brothers and sisters who they didn't have any knowledge of what they're supposed to be doing in the earth right now. Right? They didn't have that knowledge. Oh, let me turn this. Right? They didn't have that knowledge, so they were going out and just being stupid. Right? Now, because of these attacks, these attacks only happened for like a little bit. Because of these attacks, no one. What was I saying? Because of these attacks, they got a crime bill, just like Officer Barakiala said, right? Y'all heathens, don't be deceived. If any other nation would be in the streets rioting, black folks, we're not doing that, right? And not even just in the streets rioting. Any other nation would be outside openly attacking the police. We don't advocate for that. We advocate for brothers and sisters to stop celebrating whatever the heathens celebrate.
Right.
Right. So hold up. Let's get to it. Officer Shaywan.
Oh, God, sir. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap.
For whatsoever a man soweth, that's what he shall reap.
Right.
Salakia. Hold up. I gotta find something for y'all. 1 second. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he reap. Now, one thing I want to talk about, right? We were talking about the SIU earlier, right? In Ontario, in Toronto, in my city, we had a mayor. He passed away. He smoked crack on camera. He was buying crack cocaine from the Somalians on Dixon Road. Right? A blood gang of Somalians. Now, I just don't understand how. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all think y'all bloods? Y'all know in LA they don't respect it. Can you imagine Like everyone's out here. Listen, I was on my street the other day. We seen an Edomite. And this man thought he was cripping. He is full out and cripped out. The flag is long and on the blue side, on the left side. Good,
Right.
All blue. You can. I'm like, what the hell is going on with Papa Smurf? Papa Smurf, he's like, I'm cripping. I was like, I wanted to ask him, can you crip walk? I was tempted. Next time I see him, Salakia. Next time I see him, I'm gonna ask him to crip walk. Good night. California doesn't respect your cripping. California doesn't respect your blooding. You're doing whatever you're doing, and you have no idea what you're doing. Which OG jumped you in? Right? Now that's not to say there's something good about Crips and Bloods. It's all horrible. It's all by design by our oppressor. Right? So like Officer Shaw, you want to read that one more time?
Come on, concept. Be not deceived. God is not mocked.
God is not mocked. In Toronto, we had a crack smoking mayor who bought crack cocaine and smoked it on camera. Listen to me, y'all. 1 second, I gotta find that. Hold up, Officer Shawan, I gotta find this thing. So like, it's here. I gotta find it, right?
Yeah.
He bought. Yeah, are y'all familiar with that? Put a one in the chat if y'all familiar with Rob Ford. Crack smoking there.
Say, Rob Ford.
Good night. I'm gonna get you right. Hold up 1 second.
Crack smoking.
The crack smoking mayor, Rob Ford. Salakia, let me get you right. He bought crack from the Dixon Bloods, and he smoked that crack. Now, this is be not deceived. God is not mocked. Rob Ford had cancer. He didn't know he had cancer while he was smoking all that crack, right? And he won on the campaign of the gravy train. The gravy train needs to stop. Hold up. Let me get you right. Right? That gravy train stopped. That crack smoke stopped, and he found out he had cancer. Good night. 1 second. I'm gonna get you right, y'all. Listen, in the I.S.U.P.K, we prove everything.
Right.
We stand on whatever we say. We're undefeated. No one has ever defeated the I.S.U.P.K. Salaki, I'm gonna get you right. Look at this right here. Now, why I brought this up is because the police have always been corrupt. The politicians are corrupt. They talk a good game. Listen, the politicians are pimps. They've been pimping since pimping's been pimping. Y'all remember that movie? How high? Let me put some more frankincense in the incense burner, right? The politicians, they've been pimping since pimping's been pimping. Rob Ford smoked crack. I'm gonna get you right. I'm gonna show it to you right now. Right? This is on YouTube. It's from CBC News. Hold up, y'all see this? And these are supposed to be the people that's going to help us and that are supposed to lead the city.
Good night.
Right?
Right.
Hold up. So, okay, 1 second. I'm just trying to get it right.
This guy wants to be involved in everything. He wants to fight everybody's battles, and it's going to kill you. It's going to kill you.
Listen to these Woodias. Listen to these Somalians, right? They talking to the crack smoking man.
That's why we love you. Okay? Your children, your family, your kids. Your footballers. Your kids that play football. That's what drives you. Family. Kids, and you're right wing?
No, they say I'm just right wing. Radical guy. We bad.
Wow, this never gets sold out of one.
Right.
But as far up his ass, because I'm sure
Good
it goes
night.
real far. I'm sure my I'll tickle his toes here with my foot.
Rob Ford didn't believe crack was whack. Listen.
Slovakia otherwise.
Hello? No, it's not.
Now I'm going to explain. I totally off subject, but on subject, right? The whole reason that video came out is because the Somalian Dixon blood gang that made this tape of the then mayor of the city of Toronto, Rob Ford, smoking crack. They tried to extort him, and they said, "Listen, if you don't pay us, we're going to release the video." Rob Ford had one of his goons try to go get back the video, kicking some doors and shoot a couple people and sell some weed to try to get the money and get the video back, right? This all came out. Rob Ford later died. Rob Ford's brother, Doug Ford, tried to run for mayor. They told him no, because they basically said no. He lost the election. Doug Ford right now is the premier of Ontario. And I'm going to explain to you what Doug Ford did, right? Because earlier we read, Officer Shaiwan read this, about how the police refused to cooperate with the SIU. Right? Now, let's see who. Well, I'm going to just give it to you for time's sake, right? For time's sake, the reason why the police don't have to cooperate with the SIU is because the brother of the crack smoking mayor, Rob Ford, right? The crack smoking mayor was Rob Ford. His brother, Doug Ford, in the province of Ontario, he's the highest ranking man in Ontario. He's the premier. He has the highest job in Ontario.
God.
He turned around and said, "Listen, the police don't have to cooperate with the SIU." The previous premier, a lesbian by the name of Kathleen Wynne, who spent I think it was $120,000 on a rubber duck for Lake Ontario's Canada Day celebration. Right? She put $120,000 rubber duck in Lake Ontario for a Canada Day celebration, while Native Americans sleep on the street on Queen Street.
It's a lockout one. It's crazy you say that, because I was about to say the same thing. Like, how are you gonna put $120,000, for a rubber duck on Canada Day, right? Meaning, like, Canada is a holiday of the oppressor, while the natives still starving and being thirsty on their reservations, not one drop of clean water.
Right.
You understand?
Right. Now listen, that's what she turned around and did. Right? But what she was trying to do before she lost the election, right? She was trying to make the SIU more accountable. She was trying to make the police more accountable to the SIU. She put out a bill saying the police have to talk to the SIU. They can't turn around and say no more, "We're not going to talk to you," after we murder some black man. Again, she's a liberal. The liberals try to act like they care about us.
Right.
Again, it's one snake with 3 heads in Canada. Right. And I think 4 or 5 or something.
That one, if I may.
Okay.
The liberals really, it's like they are, the melting pot. They're not the separatists, They don't want to separate, talking about, we need to separate from these other nations. They want to gather every single nation together. They're really like, the liberals, they are just really like the spirit of Babylon, of Babel. Right. You understand? That's really what it is. At the end of the day, liberals, or, they're just two birds, just like 2 wings on the same bird. Right. Like the right wing and the left wing is just 2 wings on the same bird. Right. It is what it is.
Because we had a crack smoking mayor, right? You're finding out the governments, the police, they've always been corrupt. Right? Canada's police have been corrupt. The leaders of Canada are corrupt. Again, we had a crack smoking mayor. His brother got in office and said the police don't have to be accountable for shooting black people, Native Americans, and Hispanics in their back. They don't have to talk about it. You don't have listen, you can just kill us. Officer Perry, you want to read that precept one more? Salaki, you got something?
It's like it's a lot. I don't have
Come on, priest. Read that precept one more time.
Come on, Sir Select. It's the book of Galatians, chapter 6 and verse 7. Be not deceived. God is not mocked.
God is not what?
Is not mocked.
God is not mocked. Y'all love to kill us. Y'all love to kill us. The Lord sent a plague because y'all love to kill us.
Right.
Y'all love to tell our children they can be whatever they want. The Lord sent monkeypox.
Right.
Asian people were beating the brakes off sisters in those salons. The Lord sent COVID-19. Listen, y'all thought y'all kingdom was gonna go on forever and that y'all could do whatever you want. The Lord is sending Putin into Ukraine. Putin's in Ukraine tearing shit up. And Putin said, Slovakia, incense burner is hot. Slovakia. Listen, Officer Shayuan, you bought an incense burner and it gets hot. The water priest, this thing, I'm about to sprinkle. Y'all see the smoke? Good night.
Slovakia, I don't want to come in. About that Putin, right? It's like they're sending billions and billions and billions of dollars of aid to Ukraine, whether it's Canada, the US, France, the UK, whatever country are helping Ukraine, sending billions of dollars, billions worth of weaponry. But then it's like Ukraine can still not defend itself. So what makes you think Ukraine even stands a chance after all those weapons and billions of dollars sent to them?
Yeah, you didn't see what Putin just said? Hakim? Putin just said if Ukraine joins NATO, it's surely going to be World War III.
Khan.
Ukraine, hurry up and join NATO. Please. Please, hurry up. What you waiting for? Khan.
Even Joe Biden is talking about there is a real nuclear threat. Like, he's expecting Putin to press the button.
Glittering swords.
You understand? Like,
we're waiting for glittering swords.
This is Slovakia.
Right. Slovakia. Officer Shayuan, was that the end of the precept?
La, sir.
Keep reading.
For whatsoever a man soweth.
The shooting of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in their back.
That shall he also reap.
Good night. Now that is a perfect segue into what we got next. Good night. 1 second. You got a truck? Yours? What's that, truck? Good night. Hold up. Officer Shayuan, take over for one moment.
Come, sir. Right, Salakia, if I could, just to bring out a precept about what Officer Zabadi is bringing out. If we jump to Salakia, we jump to Proverbs.
All right, I'm back. Salakia, you want to bring out a proverb?
Come, sir. I had a precept, just kind of on topic.
Come on, let's get it.
Come, sir. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3 and verse 31. It says, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Right.
Right? Like what Zabadi was bringing out, right? Like you think of how many people, think of how many blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are always told to vote. They're just told to vote. If you vote, that'll help change the condition that you're in. If you
the
vote,
constrictor or the cobra.
God. Right.
The cheetah or the lion. Which one?
God.
Right.
God, so like it, and just to the point, it's like blacks, Hispanics turned around and voted in Canada. Oh, look who you got. You got a coke smoking, crack smoking premier, right? Leading your city, right? Absolutely destroying the city, right? And the blocks that we're living in, right? This man's out here smoking crack, right? And that's not the only, like, he's on video smoking crack. How many how many news articles are pictures of them buying crack in alleyways and stuff like that? This is who you voted for. You understand? And these are the kind of people that are in office. You think Doug Ford's the only person in office out there smoking crack? Like all these, this is come on concert.
Listen, not to cut you off, right? But you said it correctly. Do you think Doug Ford is the only one out there smoking crack?
Right.
I remember I said, listen, what's on Doug Ford? Like he's smoking crack and like it's an evil thing. Nah, given I was in the world, right? And I'm like, yo, I know it's an evil thing, but y'all politicians are trying to take the speck out of a one man's eye, but have a whole boulder in yours. Y'all acting like y'all don't smoke drugs and do cocaine on King
Right.
Like what the hell y'all talking about? Like every politician needs to be drug tested. There needs to be a mandatory drug test for any politician, even the news anchors.
Right.
Even the news anchors, because the news anchors sit up there and act like, listen, he's such an evil person, right? Yeah, he is the devil the Bible speaks of, right? Just like Sister Nawa said, get that sister out. Get that sister out, right? He is the devil the Bible speaks of. But listen, all the politicians, all the news anchors and people in power who have the power to influence should be tested for drugs.
Right.
In the I.S.U.P.K, we don't do drugs. We openly speak about it. We say it's wrong. Listen, some of us used to do drugs, and we learned not to do these drugs.
Right.
Good night. Officer Shaywan, what'd you have?
So I got one. That's it.
All right, so I wanted to get into something else real quick. Right? Okay, Salakia. Let me see if I can find it real quick, right? We in the last in Ontario, right? In the GTA, we had I think 4 officers died. 4 officers died by shootings in the last and listen, it's been less than a month. Salakia, let me see if I can find it. I definitely have it. I know I saved it somewhere. Good night. Let me find it. But Officer Shaywan, while we wait for that, get me Ecclesiasticus. No, Officer Brachiola, get me Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus. Here you go. Right here. Okay. Ecclesiasticus 10 verse 2. Right. We're gonna get into the next. So okay, I need to find it. It's right here.
Fuck out of you said 10 verse 2?
Correct. Ecclesiasticus 10 verse 2. Right. Oh, I definitely want this. I want this to be open. Ecclesiasticus 10 verse 2. Yeah, we want that for later. We're gonna get this right now. Right. Okay, so in the last month and some change, we had about 2 shootings. No, there was a shooting spree. Officer Shaywan, who do you think was getting killed during the shooting spree?
Salakia, the one, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans.
Salakia, Officer Shaywan. Usually I would say you're damn right, right? You know the la'ah that the Maccabees said? La'ah. Listen. Ooh, we about to get into that Maccabee story sooner or later, right? Brock?
I was gonna say heathen because what is this? Because if it's us shooting each other, they're gonna say it's a shootout or a drive-by, whatever the case. They're gonna use specific words, but when it's a shooting spree, it's mostly heathens getting shot.
Yeah, okay, Khan, you're definitely right? Heathens were getting shot, but okay, think about what we were just reading right now.
Right. Well, going to the context of the story, of course, those are police officers getting shot.
Wait, what was happening?
Police officers getting shot.
Good night. So I'm gonna go through. Right. So first, I'm gonna share this. We're gonna watch it for a little bit. Right. Then I'm gonna share the next one. We're gonna watch it for a little bit. Right. But police officers have been shot. Officer Shaywan, look up Baba Kasha if you could, real quick for me. The shooting spree that happened last month that ended in Hamilton, Baba Kasha. Like, just look up 2 police officers shot. Look up officer hung or something like that. You'll find it. It's up there.
Go on, concert.
The water. Right. Good night. Listen. God is not mocked. Y'all are mocking God, our Lord. Y'all thought. Listen, Salakia for my French. My God is not a bitch.
Yeah.
My God is a man of war. Salakia, can you get that for us right quick? God is a man of war.
Khan.
My God is a man of war. We're gonna get it in real quick. You're gonna find out. My God's a man of war. He's not playing around. Y'all mocked him. Y'all killed the children of Israel, shot them in their back, electrocuted them when they were only asking for help. They wanted to go to the hospital. They knew that they weren't doing well at the moment. We're down bad. Like, listen, bring me to the hospital. I'm messed up right now. Good night. Y'all thought this was a game. Y'all thought y'all could just do whatever you want to the children of Israel. This is why one of my favorite my favorite prayer to read is Psalms 83.
Right.
So Psalms 83, because it reminds me that, listen, I can't love not one of these nations. If you're in an organization where your leader calls himself a gorilla or a monkey, you think you can sleep with Chinese women and they're your concubines. My nigga, you're a concubine. You're a hoe. You hate your sisters, straight up. Listen, once I found out I couldn't sleep with a heathen, I said, well, that's it. Sisters. One of you sisters about to get this rod, because listen, I'm going to keep every single one of them because, hey, you can't get no heathens, and sisters do it better. If you don't know a sister does it better, what the hell are you thinking? Listen, I was with my bro. We were walking the dog today, and we seen a brother walking a dog. And the dog said, "That dog is so cute." I said, "Listen, these bitches recognize bitches." Salakia. Excuse my French. Excuse my French.
Salakia, if I may paraphrase, right? Even the scriptures say, they shall cleave to their own kind.
They shall cleave to their own kind. Dogs recognize the dogs. Salakia. Right? Now I'm gonna play this real quick for you.
Salakia. I got that scripture real quick.
Khan, you got the man of war?
Khan. This is Exodus chapter 15, verse 3. The Lord is a man of war.
The Lord is a man of war. My Lord is not a coward. He's not no punk. The Lord is a man of war.
Right.
What's going on over here? All right. While we're waiting, Officer Shaywan, do you have the article?
Kano on concert.
Barbecue shot.
Kano on concert. Just pulling it up on my screen.
Okay. Right. So, okay, there was a shooting spree. The water priest. There was a shooting spree that happened, right? Some brother walked into him. Now, listen, he was totally wrong for this. He shouldn't have did this. He should have got with. Listen, I needed a soldier like that. What'd you do that for, brother? You should have came and got with me and Officer Shaywan, put on all black, shut up, and learn the truth, and learn how to wake your people up. I know the police officers that pissed you off. They pissed me off too. They've harassed me too. But you should have came and got with us. You didn't have to die like that, right? Officer Shaywan.
Go on concert. Slovakia.
That didn't look like you were trying to draw the quad. Salakia.
Okay, there we go. Salakia.
Yeah, let's get it.
Okay, come on, concert. So this is an article from the Star. It says, shot at close range. Toronto police officer killed in string of shootings across Milton and Mississauga, as well as Hamilton identified.
Also known as the GTA. Oh, look at Officer Moab. This officer died.
It's like an officer bad fried rice.
That fried rice. Good. Right. Listen, he looked like he looked like if he seen Ruby, he'd have say, "Hey, Ruby, come here." Ruby's she's a Hebrew war dog, Salakia.
The One West war dog.
That's it, right? One West war dog. Salakia. All right, Officer Shariwan.
Come. Toronto police has identified the officer killed in a string of shootings across Mississauga, Milton, and Hamilton Monday afternoon that left 2 people dead and multiple people wounded. Constable Andrew Hong, 48, a 22-year veteran of the force, was one of the people killed in the multi-scene shooting, which started around 2:15 p.m. at a Tim Hortons in Mississauga and went west to MK Auto Repair Shop on Brunt Street South. Hong was in Mississauga today participating in a joint training exercise with officers from Peel Regional Police and York Regional Police, Toronto Police Chief James Raymer said in a statement. I can say that our preliminary information is that Constable Hong was shot at close range and died at the scene.
Officer Shaw, you want to keep reading?
Hong is survived by his wife, 2 children, and his parents. This is devastating news for his family and for all members of the Toronto Police Service and our entire policing community. We will lean on each other while we work to support Constable Hong's family and each other in our grief. The second person killed died in a separate triple shooting in Milton about 30 minutes after the Mississauga incident. According to sources, the suspect in both shootings was then shot and killed in an interaction with Halton police in Hamilton.
Listen, this brother, he listen, man, Salaki. This brother was airing out those police officers. He was not afraid to shoot his gun. And I wish I could have had a conversation with this brother before he decided to do that. Right? I wish I could have convinced him to come into the school so he didn't have to do that, and taught him how to be patient. Listen, if you're Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, I know you can relate to this. Again, Commandant General YAHANNA does not advocate for violence against our oppressors.
Right.
And let's give that brother a hand. Let's give that man a hand. The leader of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans right now does not want Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to take revenge against the heathens. Surely they deserve it.
Right.
Surely they shot his sister in her back when she called for help. They electrocuted their brother and shot him. Right? They saw another brother in an entertainment center, and they shot him because they thought they was told he had a gun. We read that article. It did not say he fired the gun. This is more than likely what happened. Right? They told him to freeze, or they ran up on him, and he was trying to get away. But again, we didn't hear any shots fired. He's trying to get away because that's what the hell are you gonna do? You gotta get away. Like, listen. Listen. Confession is good for the soul, right? For every time I got arrested, I tried to get away.
Khan.
I'm gonna tell you about my first charge. My first charge. Listen, don't make fun of me, right? I had a shitty high point, 40 cal, right? Now, this thing, I'm walking into the mall, and the police are trying to stop me, and I'm like, oh hell nah, you're doing that. Like, so I ran. Me running. Listen, I don't have a holster. The thing falls. It falls. Do I pick it up and try to keep running? No, the police are behind me. They're gonna shoot me, especially if I reach for it. So I kicked it away. Brothers don't really shoot at police officers, especially in Canada. In Canada, no one's shooting at no police officer. Canadian jails are super soft. You're gonna go to jail. You're gonna play PlayStation. Bro, they play PlayStation in jail.
They're on Snapchat, they're on Instagram, they're on Tinder. They're doing the most.
They're doing the most. They're eating lobster and shrimp. Lobster and shrimp is unlawful. They got iPhones. No one cares about jail.
They got iPhone 14s in jail.
I tried to get away.
Right.
That brother was trying to get away. They shot him. He's dead. He's gone. Right. Now listen. This is what happens all the time. They tried to get away. This brother, he was upset. He decided to go shoot at the police when he should have took a flyer. Maybe he got a flyer, maybe he didn't. Who knows?
Okay.
That's speculation. But it would have been so wonderful if he could have came home and raised up his people. Good night, Barack. Officer Shariwan, keep reading.
Okay. The suspect in both shootings was then shot and killed in an interaction with Halton police in Hamilton. Here is a surveillance image of a suspect released Monday. The province's Special Investigations Unit, which investigates all incidences between police and civilians that result in death, serious injury, or allegations of sexual assault, has invoked its mandate in relation to the shooting involving the Halton Regional Police Service officer this afternoon.
Right, so Officer Shariwan, drop that, right? Look for the Innisville shooting. You could drop that and look for the Innisville shooting, Baba Kasha. We got 2 more precepts. We are over the 10 o'clock hour. 2 more precepts, and we're gonna wrap up this class. The water for sticking with us. We appreciate everybody. Right? Again, like, share, and subscribe to this channel. This movie, I said movie. This class is sponsored, right? By it's 2 hours. It might as well be a movie. Listen, treat these classes like a movie and show it to your children. Salakia. Good, nice. Cut. Right. So definitely, we got 2 more precepts to read. Officer Shariwan, he's going to find the last article for us, right? Because it's been a wild month in Ontario. You know, our oppressors have been mocking the Lord and acting like they could just do whatever they want. Read Ecclesiasticus 10 and 2.
In the Apocrypha, Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, verse 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein.
Right, listen, because the people who rule the city, because the officers who patrol the streets are corrupt and evil, and they hate Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's what you see in your city. You see hate for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. The politicians hate Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We're looking to these politicians who come to our door who hate us, and we're like, damn, we want to make it. We want to drive the Benz like them. We gotta hate each other too. Because everything is corrupt in the city, you're going to see corruption. You're going to see murder. You're going to see police officers being killed. You're going to see wars being fought in the streets of Montreal. You're going to see wars being fought in the streets of Toronto and every city, every street in these major cities, because the politicians, they're corrupt, right? They're the ones that say one thing and do the total opposite. They say, listen, the Rob Ford he advocated for the violence to stop. And he spent thousands of dollars on the same Somalian gang that was committing the violence in Toronto. Right? A Somalian gang of Bloods was committing violence in Toronto. Well, now they're dying out, like literally dying.
Pirates.
Funerals after funerals, they're dying. But Rob Ford gave them money. Then Rob Ford got on camera and said, the violence needs to stop. And then he lit that crack up.
Right.
Right? Read that one more time.
Kawakan in the Apocrypha, Ecclesiasticus chapter 10, verse 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of men the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein.
Listen, that's what's happening in our city. You're seeing the corruption and the bad leadership play out in the streets. If you're wondering why shots are firing in your neighborhoods, because the leadership sucks.
It's a lot, Yadon, if I may. It's just like in Montreal. They always try to talk about we need more gun regulations, this and that. Talking about there's too much gun violence right now in the city. But the nation of Israel, the Levites, the Benjamites, and the Northern Kingdom, we're not bringing the guns in the city. We're receiving them. So, that's kind of like backwards where they're saying or hypocritical, because to stop the violence and the gun violence in the city, they would have to stop the gun running business that they're into in the first place. Whereas the politicians, their families who are, joined with their mafias, the Italians, the Jewish, the Irish, they're all in the same vicious circle.
Listen, at the top of the pyramid, you're gonna see some Edomite who has a 3D printer and he's ordering gun parts from overseas, right? And he's using his 3D printer to print what we call in the city of Toronto ghost Glocks.
Right.
The ghost glizzies with the switching. You put a switch on it, which is a button that you click left to right, that turns your Glock from a single fire to a handheld Uzi.
Automatic rifle right there.
Listen, and they're printing the stock for it too to make it an automatic rifle. Listen, there is no joke. There's some oppressors doing it. Look up any big gun bust in the city of Toronto or in Canada. You're going to see an oppressor. There was an old couple who came over. They said, "Well, let's go to Canada, eh?" Listen, they said, "Let's go to Canada, eh?" And they brought a RV full of guns.
Right, damn right.
It was supposed to make its way into every ghetto, and it didn't.
It's a lot, Catherine. Just like you say, every time there's a major gun bust, it's like you see, it's always oppressors in the middle of it. It's not us.
Always.
You understand? You're gonna see a lot of Edomites. You're gonna see some Ishmaelites join with them, or some East Indians, Moabites, whatever the case is. It's always an oppressor that is in the middle of everything.
Right.
Instead, even with the drugs.
Right.
Instead, whatever sinful activity that's going on that is trying to relate to us, it's always an oppressor that is at the source of it.
Right.
You understand? That's why I wanted to bring out that one.
Salaki, get me Jeremiah 50 and 35. Officer Shariwan, that's the other article for the Innisville shooting?
Come on, sir.
You can run through that one real quick.
Come on, sir. This is an article from CP24. It says, man who died following exchange of gunfire with police in Innisville. The two police officers and the 23-year-old man who were killed in a shooting inside an Innisville home Tuesday evening have been identified.
Keep going.
The incident occurred at a residence near 25th Side Road and 9th Line shortly before 8 p.m. The Special Investigations Unit, which is looking into
Wait. We keep hearing about that unit that the crack smoking mayor's brother said doesn't have to answer to police after they shoot blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in their back. They're investigating something again.
Right.
Listen, every time they determine that every time a officer in their gang shoots one of us in the back, that there's nothing wrong. Now they're investigating their own death. Good, nice. So, Shayuan, you hear that? They're investigating their own deaths now.
Yeah.
What's going on? The Lord is not mocked. He's not to be played with.
Right.
Right. Give the Lord a hand. He's the best. Right. Let's get it. Officer Shayuan, Baba Kasha.
Come. The SIU, which is looking into the circumstances surrounding the shooting, said South Simcoe police officers were dispatched to the address for a disturbance call. The SIU said family members inside the home made the call. 2 officers who were identified on Wednesday as Constable Devin Northrop, 33, and Constable Morgan Russell, 54, first arrived and subsequently became involved in an exchange of gunfire with a 23-year-old male resident armed with a semi-automatic rifle.
Good night. So they walked into a residence. Now, who knows what they were trying to arrest, or we don't know. Like, right? Maybe the article might say it, but they ended up in a gunfight with this person, and those handguns did not work out. Right? It's different when the rabbit got the gun. Salakia. Salakia. Captain Kahan said that, right? It's different when the rabbit got the gun. They listen, if it was a Black, Hispanic, or Native American, they would have just shot him in the back.
Right.
And case closed. Barack, case closed. He was black. They'd have shot him in the back. And when they go investigate, they'd have said, I'm not answering to you. He's black. He's dead. He's Hispanic or Native American. He's dead. What? Salakia, hold up. Hold your point for one moment. What do I have to answer for? He's dead. We killed him. Now, the SIU is investigating their own officers dead. Barack.
Salakia, when we say in that case closed, it's really like there doesn't even need to be a case in the first place.
Right. That's heavy. There doesn't need to be a case in the first place because he's Black, Hispanic, and Native American.
Damn right.
The hell are we talking about? Like, listen, he's supposed to die. I was supposed to shoot him.
Damn right.
He had a pen in his hand.
Right.
He called me for help. I helped him to the casket. What? Did I do something wrong?
Lucky. I asked him for his ID. He was pulling up his wallet. Then I shot him to death.
I told him, get me your ID. Don't reach. Boom, 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 boom. That's how it works for us.
Right.
It's
the one. It's like we're in 2022 and not even realizing that this is actually normal for them to hate us to the point where they feel like they need to kill us.
And whose fault is that?
You understand? In a way, okay, so like if I may add one, in a way, it's our fault for being stubborn and not wanting to join together.
Right.
Our enemy is, in a way.
Listen, we're being stubborn against our God, but it's the Christian church's fault.
Khan, that's what I was gonna get to as well.
Because our leadership is horrible.
Right.
We have sleeping dogs who don't bark. Now, listen, if you have a dog and it's not barking, get rid of that dog. Right?
Ruby don't bark.
Officer Shayuan, what else you got in this article?
Says, meanwhile, Northrop and Russell were critically injured in the incident and were rushed to hospitals, but both later died of their injuries. South Simcoe acting police chief remembered the 2 constables at a news conference on Wednesday. Northrop had 6 years of service.
All right, Officer Shayuan, you could drop that. Like, listen, they served, they died. So long, who cares? You can get rid of that, right? Right. Read what you got.
Kawakan. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50, verse 35. A sword is upon the Chaldeans. A sword is upon the Chaldeans.
Now, this is Abraham's father's peoples, right? The Chaldeans. Good night, because he was in the land. He was in the land of the Chaldeans.
Kawakan.
Right? Read.
Said the Lord, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon.
That sword is the modern day gun in Babylon. That gun is going off. That sword that has the fire at the end of it is going off in Babylon. Keep reading.
and upon her princes, and upon her wise men.
These police officers thought they were so wise. We'll just say he was black and he had a knife and we were afraid for our lives, so we shot him dead. We electrocuted him. He didn't stop moving. We had to shoot him. Why'd you shoot him? Well, he was asking us for help. We thought he was crazy. Keep reading.
If I may.
Come.
For everybody who are watching right now and who are not familiar with the scriptures or with the I.S.U.P.K, we are the home of the truth. We break down everything. We have the universal and practical knowledge, understand? We know what the scripture is talking about. So when it's talking about a sword, it is not a literal blade, understand? Because a sword is a weapon,
Right.
you understand? In the modern days, right now, the weapon of choice is a gun.
Right.
It's a rifle or a handgun, whatever, whatever gun there is out there.
Right.
You understand? So when it's talking about a sword, it's talking about a weapon. You understand? So like, I just wanted to put that out there. I don't want.
Right. No, it's definitely heavy because of the crimes of Esau against his brother Jake, who was black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and the nations that follow Esau. They're being cut off and cut down.
Khan.
That rifle that this devil had cut down those two police officers in Innisfil.
Damn right. Most High in Christ.
Salakia, let me get a quick sip of water. In the words of Captain Akkad, I prepare slaughter, you get me my water. Salakia. Now listen, y'all might not know. And for brothers who don't know, give yourself a hand. If you don't know what I'm going to say right now, give yourself a hand. You'll thank me later. Right? Nah, just listen. You don't know. Innisfil is what county is it? Salakia. Innisfil is, damn, I'm trying to remember what county they call it. Salakia. I'll remember the county name in a second, right? Innisfil. The people in Innisfil are employed by the jail about 40 minutes from there. It's called Penetanguishene, right?
Innisfil, Georgia?
It's Georgian County, right?
City of Georgia?
No, that's Hinesville.
Oh, yeah, Innisfil.
That's Innisfil is IM, right? But Penetanguishene, right, is the Central North Correctional Center where blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Yeah, they call it a county. I forgot the name of the county. I'll get it in a second.
No problem.
Where blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans go to serve time if they're doing 2 years less of a day. Meaning, if you're doing less than 2 years, you go up there to do time. That's where a lot of people go to jail. Judges make sure you go up there.
So lucky, right? If I may.
Okay.
So that would be the jail and not the penitentiary, right?
That's a jail. Penitentiary is where you go if you're doing a deuce plus, right?
Okay.
And if you don't know that, give yourself a hand. One more time. Because there's so many brothers who understand and know what it's like to be watched over by the people of Innisfil, by the officers of Innisfil, or to be driving through Berry to go visit someone who's stuck in those jails and harassed by the OPP out there.
Right.
Right. Keep reading.
Khan. Verse 30. Slakia. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 36. A sword is upon the liars.
The same ones who say, I smell weed, so I had to drag him out the car, and you don't even smoke. And you're looking at these officers like, what the hell are you talking about? I haven't smoked weed in 10 years.
Right. Khan. And they shall dote. A sword is upon her mighty men.
Right? Them liars who say, I was afraid for my life because I had a gun with 16 rounds in it and 3 extra clips, and he had a knife. So I had to kill him. I feared for my life.
So lucky if I may out of one.
Right.
It's like they would shoot us for having, a mental disorder or not, and having a knife or not, But then it's like they're wearing body armor.
Stress on the or not. Stress on
right.
the not that or not.
It's like
it's definitely heavy.
But it's like they're having body armor, right? They have a weapon with extra clips. It's like, what are you? What are you scared of for? What are you scared for? What are you scared about?
Listen, that body armor is definitely stopping the knife.
You understand? That body armor is made to stop bullets, so how does it not stopping the knife?
Is it?
Not only that, but
right.
With the knife, I need to get close to. I need to get, like close combat distance to you.
They have helmets with shields, bro.
They have helmets with shields as well. But
They
now,
stop the knife.
with that firearm, they could shoot us from a distance. So what are you scared for? What are you fearing?
Right. Finish that.
Come on, so that's the other one. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed.
Listen, a bunch of police officers went to funerals. Salakia, y'all gonna keep going to funerals because y'all thought that you could just Barakatha Yahweh Yahweh Shai. Y'all thought you could just kill the children of Israel. Again, we don't advocate for violence, but because y'all committed so much violence against us, because y'all commit so much crimes against our brothers and sisters who get up every day and just try to live a good life, the Lord is going to bring a sword upon you.
Right? If I may again, it's not that just that they thought they could kill the children of Israel. It's that they thought they could kill the children of Israel and just get away with it.
Right. So once again, right, we are the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA. Right, don't worry, I got it. We are the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General YAHANNA. Right. I'm Officer 1000 Zabaja. I got Officer 500 Sharyuan. Newly raised Officer 500 Barak Allah. Give that brother a hand. Okay. We're going to bring an end to this class. We are in the Feast of Tabernacles. On Monday at 7 p.m., we're going to be bringing a closing to the Feast of Tabernacles. Everybody tune in. The water for watching, right? Like and share this class. I'm going to hand the class over to Officer 500 Sharyuan.
So
Wrap
let's
it up.
We'll do the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K, started out of 1 West 125th Street out of New York. Rule for new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They're to be saluted only. They're here to shed themselves of the world. They need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months. There's another 6 months which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find it in Numbers chapter 18, verse 21. In Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 to 10. Ma'ashra means tenth in the Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests is not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like, please give. Upcoming holy convocations. Salakia. This is the new one. Salakia, bear with me 1 second. Upcoming holy convocations. We're closing out the Feast of Tabernacles on Monday the 17th. And after that, we have the Feast of Dedication, also known as Hanukkah, which will be on Saturday the 17th of December. Any brother who wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. With that said, we're going to give one courtesy salute to the brothers and one courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Imadium, which means stand. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, Imadium Shabbat, Imadium, Barak, Yahweh Shem Yahshar Barakatham, Yad Yamatah, which means hands down. Sar, turn and face the sisters. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the sisters, men of Israel, Imadium Shabbat, Imadium, Barak, Yahweh
Shemala Thamba Shem Yahushai.
Yad Yamatah. Class dismissed.
Buddha. Look, I endure hardness. I'm a good soldier. My niggas is killers. I ain't gon' hold you. This shit is not for the weak. I already told you. They taught us to yak a rob. Watch how you approach us. Blood of my brothers. This for the blood of my brothers. Blood of my brothers. This for the blood of my brothers. Blood of my brothers. This for the blood of my brothers. Blood of my brothers. This for the blood of my brothers. When Babylon fall, the meek gon' inherit the earth. I never turn pussy. You gotta bury me first. I get the word from Cap. I'ma just go, yes sir. Please don't play with your life, or you'll get seriously hurt. Over my brothers. We doing numbers. You like to talk a lot, but you'll get humbled. Hey, fuck on my enemies. Yeah, cause they make a tumble. You gotta be disciplined. Can't do what you want to. Outside is a jungle, and I got the heart of a lion. I just did Hebrew Academy, tried through the fire in the heart of a crisis. Everybody wanna talk tough, but only a dummy and try us. They told me life about war, so I ain't gonna never stop fighting. I know that they fools, but I cannot pity them. Niggas is taking them lies too serious. All black everything, know it, but fear them feds is watching. I gotta stay diligent. I gotta stay militant. Yeah, I know that I'm killing them. I endure hardness. I'm a good soldier. My niggas is killers. I ain't gon' hold you. This shit is not for the weak. I already told you. They taught us to yak a rob. Watch how you approach us. Blood of my brothers. This for the blood of my brothers. Blood of my brothers. This for the blood of my brothers. Blood of my brothers. This for the blood of my brothers. Blood of my brothers. This for the blood of my brothers. Front line. That's double time. I ain't throwing no flags. They let their colors fly. I'm UPK certified. Follow the chain of command. We don't want cowards in here. Them niggas can stay where they at. Fuck what they saying is cap. These devils is hunting our steps, so I ain't leaving no tracks. I'm about the Lord business. I ain't playing with them, and I'm standing on that. I got my foot on their neck. I got the world in my hands. I ain't even breaking a sweat. You not even a threat, I'm a soldier. Head on a swivel, I'm always in motion. He move like a coward, cause real soldiers don't show no emotion. They just do what they supposed to. Yeah, that's the Lord's army. These niggas fall under pressure. I ain't talking about origami. We went to trials like we was fighting the case for manslaughter. I learned to yak a rob. I put these hands on him. It's crazy they had dropped sword after you would stand for him. He couldn't endure to the end. His cover is hanging in headquarters. It's the Lord's army. These niggas fall under pressure. I ain't talking about origami. We went to trials like we was fighting the case for manslaughter. I learned to yak a rob. I put these hands on him. It's crazy they had dropped sword after you would stand for him. He couldn't endure to the end. His cover is hanging in headquarters. Yeah.